This is part 3 in the series, which covers this original war diary, written by a communications officer who was part of the 71st Infantry Division. Our author Heinz served in the 194th Infantry Regiment. The 71st would eventually be the first German division to move into Stalingrad. That's also where it was completely wiped out. But today, we'll start and then end on a macro level and see how the 3 infantry regiments of the 71st advanced on June 22, 1941. We'll zoom in and follow Heinz's personal experiences with the 194th during the rest of that fateful day. As always, I'll include rare film footage to glue it all together. On the morning of June 22, 1941, at 315 hours, the 71st Infantry Division's 3 regiments, the 194th, the 191st, and the 211th, advanced together without artillery preparation over the German-Russian border. The enemy was taken completely by surprise, allowing Regiment 194 with the 2nd and 3rd Battalions to occupy the street between Future and Dachnow without a fight. In the town just to the east, however, fierce street fighting breaks out, and the division's first casualties of the campaign are taken. Infantry Regiment 194 continued east and took the rail connection to the northwest of Lubaskov, including the rail bridge across the Solotwa River intact. By 645 hours, the southern entrance to Lubaskov was in the regiment's hands. Jetzt haben wir die Stadt. We arrive to the city and there is nobody around. On a street corner, we come across a baker's cart loaded with freshly baked bread rolls that we hungrily devour. In the houses, we see evidence of hasty departures. The drawers and wardrobes have been thrown open and most of the contents removed and carried away. Actually, it's a Polish city that was occupied by the Russians after the Polish campaign. Pictures of Stalin and all kinds of propaganda posters are hanging everywhere, pasted to the walls. The regiment entered the city from 3 sides and met in the city square in front of the church. Russian artillery continues firing on the city, and our commander is hit in the cheek by a piece of shrapnel, causing us all to take cover in the houses. The general appears and yells at the officers, encouraging them to continue on. Staying close to walls for protection, we make our way past burning houses, snapped and dangling telephone lines, and dead horses. We reach a bridge that the Russian artillery gunners have concentrated their fire on, and in between 2 barrages, we run across. The quick advance continues on through various burning towns. In the meantime, it's already 1400 hours and the day seems to be dragging on eternally. We pass through large cornfields and at various times come under enemy fire. It becomes evident that just a few snipers are able to hold up an entire company, since we are really never sure how strong the enemy is. Gegen Abend, noch einmal heftig. Towards the evening, we come under heavy enemy fire, much of which is seen to be coming from the trees. You have to give it to these snipers. It must take a lot of courage to do what they do. Rarely do they survive an engagement. The Russians also hit us with mortar fire, but the shells land 100 meters short, and after about a half-hour delay, we were able to continue on. Finally, we hold up in a village, occupying houses, and are able to wash ourselves. After 20 hours on our feet in the blazing heat, we gladly collapse on benches and fall asleep. Tomorrow morning, our unit is meant to take the second position in the continued advance. I only hope that we are not expected to move out quite as early. As described by Heinz in his diary, the city of Lubaskov was occupied relatively quickly during the morning. However, the Soviet artillery continued pounding, which resulted in Colonel Schmidt being badly injured. Major Gericke stepped in and took command. The divisional artillery was moved up and organized to the north of the city to counter the heavy enemy fire. Although effective, within the hour, at almost the exact same location where Schmidt had been injured, the commander of Artillery Regiment 171, Colonel von Rohr, was fatally injured during another Soviet bombardment. Throughout the afternoon, the regiment continued fighting its way east. When the attack began on the morning of the 22nd, Infantry Regiment 191 quickly moved into Dachnow, and after heavy street fighting, had control at 500 hours. Leaving a detachment just to the north of the city for security, the regiment continued east and by 600 hours had managed to cross the Solotwa River. In the forest area to the east, Infantry Regiment 191 also did battle with snipers in trees. Many of these snipers were women. In the early morning, Infantry Regiment 211 attacked the border fortress to the southwest of Zareznik. Defenders in the city put up little resistance, but those in a castle just to the east, being led by a woman, put up a fight. Only after sustained and concentrated flak fire were the defenders silenced. From the afternoon on, Infantry Regiment 211 served to secure the northern flank of the 71st Infantry Division. If you like material created using primary historical sources like this, please remember to subscribe to the channel and like the video. Use the QR code to create a free account and check out the example exclusive footage. Thanks for watching.